Windows 3.1, Level 1. Windows 3.1 is a graphical interface between you and your computer. It offers many advantages and features to your computer, some of which include a built-in word processor called Write, a drawing program called Paintbrush, a calendar program to keep track of your schedule, a card file program to keep information on your personal friends or customers, and a communication program called Terminal for your modem if you have one. This graphical interface program allows you the ability to perform DOS commands with greater ease, cut, copy, and paste selections between your data files in programs such as Lotus 123 and WordPerfect. It also allows you to run more than one application at one time. So many features, in fact, that all of them would be impossible to cover in this presentation. What we will cover is the installation process, the basics of Windows, and how to navigate through its many areas. Depending on what type of computer you have will have a large bearing on how Windows will perform for you. Windows has three basic operating modes: Real, Standard, and Enhanced. The Real mode is designed for those with computers with either an 8088, 286, or 386 processor with less than 1 meg of RAM. The Standard mode is designed for those who have a 286 computer with at least 1 meg of RAM. This mode provides access to extended memory and lets you switch among Windows applications. The 386 Enhanced mode is designed for those who have a 386 computer with at least 2 megs of RAM. It allows access to your system's virtual memory capabilities of the Intel 386 processor. Virtual memory allows Windows applications to use more memory than physically is available. Enhanced mode will also allow multitasking of non-Windows applications. A non-Windows application program is a software program that is not specifically written to work directly with Windows. Whichever mode Windows is in will dictate the performance level of Windows. The 386 Enhanced mode is the most powerful. Later in this presentation, we will show you how to determine which mode your Windows program is running under. Fortunately, Windows will automatically adapt to your environment when the program is accessed. The very first thing we must discuss is the mouse. Without it, Windows is a much less efficient system. During our presentation, we will assume you have a mouse attached to your system. If you are operating Windows without a mouse, you want to refer to your user's manual for specific instructions in that case. We realize the use of a mouse may be a whole new experience for you. If it is, Windows has offered some exercises to help gain speed and accuracy through the Games section. More on that later. To install Windows, place your Windows disk number 1 into your A or B disk drive. At the C prompt, type in A: and press Enter. Now type in Setup and press Enter. From here, it's just a matter of following the instructions on the screen. A couple of things to keep in mind here is that Windows will take approximately 5 to 7 megabytes of hard disk space, and the installation process takes anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes. After reading the initial screen, press Enter. You now have a choice to set up Windows in the Express or Custom modes. We highly recommend the Express mode. The Custom mode should only be used if you are having trouble installing Windows using the Express mode. Now wait while Windows copies some of its program files to the hard disk. Remove disk number 1 and insert disk number 2 and press Enter when asked on the screen. At the Windows Setup screen, press Enter and wait while it copies more program files to the hard disk. Remove disk number 2 and insert disk number 3 and press Enter. Wait while copying files to the hard drive again. Enter in your name and company name as directed. Remove disk number 3 and insert number 4 and press Enter. Continue to insert disks as indicated by the Windows program. You will then get a Windows printer setup screen. Use your arrow keys to arrow down to the printer you are using. Press Enter. Tab over to the Install button as we are doing here and press Enter. Windows will then automatically set up any application programs you may have on your computer system. It may not recognize every program you have. We will cover how to add programs to Windows later. Now, Windows will ask if you want to reboot your computer. Remove any disk in your disk drive and press Enter to reboot your system. The installation process is now completed. To access Windows, simply type WIN at the C prompt and press Enter. The Windows system is divided into several groups: Main, Accessories, Games, Non-Windows Applications, and Windows Applications. All of these groups are administrated by what is referred to as the Program Manager. Before we go any further, let's examine the Windows screen. As you can see, it is made up of several different parts. The desktop is the entire screen work area. It is designed to be manipulated in a number of configurations as decided by you. Think of it as a desk where you can arrange your work in any fashion that suits you. The rectangular box areas are referred to as windows, hence the Windows name. It is these very windows that can be arranged in any fashion you need. The window you should be looking at is the main window. If you have had the opportunity to experiment with Windows a little bit, you may see something different. If you do not see the main window, move your mouse pointer up to the window menu choice and click the left mouse button. Now choose Main. The main window contains several utilities, such as File Manager, Control Panel, Print Manager, Clipboard, DOS Prompt, and Windows Setup. At the bottom of your screen, you will see several symbols that are referred to as icons. These icons should at least include Accessories, Games, and Startup. You may also have a non-Windows Applications icon. Also, if you have installed any Windows Applications programs, such as PageMaker or MS Word for Windows, you may see a Windows application icon as well. The arrow indicator is used for pointing out with your mouse to select the many options you now have. Moving the mouse from side to side will move the pointer on the screen. The small black arrows in the corner of the windows are referred to as the minimize and maximize buttons. They are used to help adjust the size of the window. At all four corners of the window are the window corners used to adjust the window size. At the top of the window are the title bars, indicating which window or windows are being displayed. To give you a better idea of how to navigate around Windows and develop a more efficient skill level with the mouse, let's move your mouse pointer up to the Windows menu selection and click your left mouse button once to gain access to this menu. Now, select Games. This may seem a little tricky at first, but with the Games program, you will pick up speed and accuracy. You should be viewing the Games window with two selections, Solitaire and Minesweeper. These are games designed to help you with your mouse skills, as well as making for a nice diversion on your break. Point to the game Solitaire and click the left mouse button twice very fast. This is called a double click and is used extensively in Windows to gain access to many parts of the program. Now that the game is up and running, let's experiment with the window environment itself before starting the game. Move your mouse pointer to the far upper right-hand corner of the Solitaire window so that it is on top of the arrow up Maximize button. Now click the left mouse button. See how the window occupies the entire desktop area? Click your mouse on the arrow down or Minimize button. The game has been reduced to an icon on the bottom of your screen. You have two options at this point. First, you could restore the game back to its original position, or second, you could access another program while the game is still active in the background. Let's restore the game back to the way it was. Move and click on the Solitaire icon below. A control menu now appears. You have several choices here. You will see the selections available to you in the dark black. The selections in the light gray are not available to you at the present time. You can restore the game program back on the screen, move the window, close the window, or maximize the window. Click on Restore. Good. Click the arrow up and down button in the upper right-hand corner to reduce the window size. Now move your pointer to the bottom of the game window until you get a double arrow like this. Click the left mouse button and hold it down. Moving the mouse downwards expanded the window size. This is referred to as click and drag. To change the entire size of the window, move the pointer to the lower right-hand side or window corner. Click and drag the mouse towards the upper left corner of the window. You can resize the window in any fashion you need. There is no right or wrong size or method to your organization. You simply arrange your windows to your needs. Throughout this presentation, you may find it necessary to occasionally adjust the size of your windows. To play the game Solitaire, simply point, click, and drag the cards to the desired position, like we're doing here. To select game options, move your pointer and click on the upper left menu selection. Now click on Deck. This gives you several card cover options. After selecting a new card cover, click on Game again. Point and click on Options. This gives you some options on how to score and play the game. To deal a new hand, select Game again and click on Deal. To leave the game, click on Game and then click on Exit. This should bring you back to Game Window, where you can choose the game Minesweeper or close the window and move on to something else. Remember, if you are new with a mouse and to the Windows environment, these games make great exercises. Now let's move on to the Accessories window. Move your mouse pointer to the window menu and click. Select Accessories. The Accessories window has several program choices. Write is a full-featured word processor, although it does not have a spell checker. Paintbrush is a graphical drawing program. Drawings can be incorporated into other programs like PageMaker. Terminal is a communications program designed to be used with a modem. Notepad is a program that can be used to write notes to yourself and others using the system, or it can be used to create and edit batch files. Recorder is used to record keystrokes for the purpose of making macros. Macros are many programs that you write usually to perform repetitive and tedious tasks with the touch of a few keystrokes. Card file is used to maintain information on your business customers or personal friends. Calendar is used to keep your personal or business schedule. Calculator is used as any other calculator. Clock is used for timekeeping. Place your pointer on the right program and double-click the left mouse button. You should now be in the right program. To go into detail on how all of these programs work is beyond the scope of this presentation. However, if you review your user's manual, we think you will find these programs fairly easy to use. To exit from the right program, simply point and click on the File menu and choose Exit. Write may ask if you want to leave the first program without saving the file first. Select No. Do not save the file. From here, you can experiment with the various programs with the help of your manual for specific instructions. Now, select Windows again. Point and click on Main. This is the utility portion of Windows. Double-click on Control Panel. You should see many choices here. For example, double-click on Colors. This is where you can adjust the colors for Windows. If you want a different background color, select Palette Color below. Now select the desired color for the desktop. To change other colors, point and click on the arrow down button next to the word Desktop. Click on the desired choice to select the color you want. When completed, you may select Save Scheme. If you would rather keep the Windows default settings, select Windows Default as we are doing here. Windows also has several pre-designed color settings other than the default. Point and click on the arrow down button next to the word Windows Default. Select Fluorescent. You can see how the changes affect the system by viewing the sample windows below. Go back and select Windows Default again. Now, point and click on the control menu box on the title bar Color. Select Close. Now, choose the mouse. This is where you can adjust the speed and sensitivity. You can also adapt the mouse for left-handed people. Move to the mouse tracking speed bar. Click and drag the box in this bar to the right or left, depending on how sensitive you want the mouse to be. Moving the box to the left slows the mouse down and decreases how much the pointer moves when you move the mouse. Now move to the double-click speed. Adjust it as you did the mouse speed. We recommend that if you are new with the mouse, set the speeds toward the slower end. If you are left-handed, point and click on swap left-right buttons. This may make it a little easier for you. If you do swap buttons, make sure that when we say click the left button, you click the right button instead. To swap back to the right-hander's method, simply click on the swap button again with the right mouse button. Save your changes by selecting the OK button. Select the desktop menu. Here is where you can add patterns and designs to the desktop area, as well as adjust how fast the cursor blinks and how far apart the icons will be spaced. Select the arrow down button by pattern. This will give several options on how you want your desktop background to look. Once selected, click on the arrow down button within the horizontal bar. This gives you your choices. Click on Scotty and the OK. The desktop background should be a weave pattern. Our next selection will be printers. This is where you can make changes in the printer you have or change the active printer. When you are running non-Windows applications by themselves, you will not be using the print drivers in Windows. When using a Windows application program and have more than one printer, you may need to switch from one to the other. Select and click on the desired printer. Then click on the active button in the status box. If you need to reconfigure your printer settings, click on Configure. During the installation process, your printer should have already been set up. Now, click OK. To exit the control panel, click on the control box in the upper left-hand corner. Click on Close. On to the File Manager. Windows File Manager was designed to replace the old DOS Executive from previous versions of Windows. It is designed to help organize your program and data files. Several DOS commands are contained in this section of Windows. Copying and moving files are easier than ever. Double-click on File Manager. The first thing you will see is a directory tree of your C drive. This is a listing of all your subdirectories under the root directory. The plus symbol seen on some directories is an indication that there are more subdirectories under that directory. To change disk drives, simply point and click on the A or B drive buttons. You must have a diskette in the A or B drive before selection of these icons. If you are operating on a network, you can point and click on that button as well. In this presentation, we do not have our computer on a network, so those related commands will not apply. To change directories, point and double-click on the desired choice. To display a more expanded view of the directory tree, click on the Tree menu. Select Expand All. This gives us an expanded view of the C drive, including all directories and subdirectories. Using the mouse pointer and the horizontal scroll bar to the right, move down through the list. We are clicking on the 123 directory again. Here is a listing of all the Lotus 123 program files. To gain a more in-depth view of these files, select View from the menu above. Now select File Details. See the difference? Now double-click on a subdirectory. In our case, it will be Data. All the files in the Data subdirectory will be displayed. Let's copy some of these files to a diskette in the A drive. Point and click on the file you want to copy so that it becomes highlighted. Place a blank formatted disk in drive A. Select File from the menu bar. Then select Copy. Where it prompts Copy To, enter in the A:, and press Enter or the Click Copy icon. If you need to copy more than one file, simply hold down the Control key while clicking on the desired files. To cancel a selection, hold down the Control key while clicking on the highlighted choice. The highlighted file should now appear normal. There should now be several files highlighted. Select the File menu again. Click on Copy. Enter in A:, press Enter or click Copy. You could also move files with the same procedure with the exception of selecting Move instead of Copy. This is a particularly nice feature allowing you to actually move files or even subdirectories from one place to another. Under the normal DOS environment, you had to copy your files first, then go back to the original source directory and perform a file erase command. To rename a file, point and click on the desired choice. Select the File menu and then Rename. Enter in New File Name and select Rename or press Enter. If you wish to format a diskette, select Disk from the menu above. Then click on Format Diskette. Then click on Format. If you are formatting a double-density diskette and a high-density drive, make sure you choose the appropriate capacity. This is a nice feature because you no longer have to remember what additional DOS switches are necessary for this type of formatting. You will also see a box dealing with creating a system disk. This means the DOS command COM file is copied onto the formatted diskette after it has been formatted. This means the disk can be used to boot your computer if needed. If the disk is just for copies or backup of data files, selecting System Disk is not necessary or desired. To copy diskettes, select the appropriate origin disk. In our case, it will be A. Select Disk again from the menu and click on Copy Diskette. A warning message appears indicating that all files on the destination diskette to be copied to will be lost. Make sure your destination diskette is a blank formatted diskette or that you don't care that its contents will be lost. From here, simply follow the instructions on the screen and remember, you can only use the disk copy feature to copy to an exact size disk as the original disk was. To electronically label a diskette or hard drive, select Label Diskette from the disk menu. Enter in the desired label of no more than 11 characters. Click on OK. To exit the File Manager, point and click on the Files menu. Then choose Exit. The Print Manager is a program designed to manage your Windows application's printing. Keep in mind, a Windows application program is a program written specifically for Windows or the internal program that came with Windows, such as the Write program. If you print a publication from PageMaker, for instance, PageMaker will send the print job to the Print Manager, where it creates a print queue, which is a listing of all print files that are loaded in printing. We use Print Manager to determine the status of the current print job and to reprioritize your print jobs if necessary. The clipboard is used for the transfer of information from one application program to another. It is a temporary storage area that is always available for use, except for those times when you are in a non-Windows application that is running in a full screen mode. More on that later. The DOS prompt selection is for those times when you want a quick access to a DOS prompt. Select the DOS prompt by clicking on it twice. This brings us to the C prompt in DOS. To quickly return to Windows, type in Exit and press Enter. The Windows Setup icon is used to change your system settings or to set non-Windows and Windows applications. This may have already been done when you installed Windows. From our experience, Windows will not always properly recognize every application you have. In other words, Windows may omit and not set up many non-Windows applications automatically. In these cases, we will have to make some additions to the non-Windows application window. Some corrections or enhancements need to be accomplished through the PIF or Program Information Editor found in the Accessories window. To add a non-Windows application program to the system, select the Non-Windows Applications window. To do this, click on the Windows menu choice. To expand this window, click the Maximize button in the upper right-hand corner. Now click on the File menu. Select New. Make sure Program Item is selected. Click on OK. Now enter in the name of the program that you wish to appear on the screen. To move down to the next line, point your I-beam to the next line and click or simply press the Tab key. Enter in the program path and name of the executable or command file. We will set up WordPerfect. Our path name is C:WP51. Enter in a backslash followed by the access command WP:EXE. Now click the OK icon. To enhance your startup applications in order to run more than one application at one time, we need to access the PIF editor in the Accessories window. Before we do that, however, we will want to know what mode your Windows program is running under. This determines whether or not you can run more than one non-Windows application program at one time. Point and click on the Help menu. Click on the selection About Program Manager. This will tell you what mode you are in. If the system is in the real or standard mode, you do not have the ability to run more than one application at the same time. If you are in the 386 Enhanced mode, we can open a Program Information file, or PIF, and edit its contents. Go ahead and click OK. Access the Windows menu. Select Main. Now double-click on PIF. Select the File menu choice within the PIF Editor window. Click on Open. This will give you a selection of PIF files that have already been created when you installed Windows or when you created them in the non-Windows Applications window. Since our system is operating in the 386 Enhanced mode, we will select the WP PIF by double-clicking on it. At the bottom of this window, you see a selection Full Screen or Windowed. Select Windowed. This will allow us to run WordPerfect in a window and have the ability to switch into something else at any time while still in the WordPerfect program, or even pull up two programs side by side. If your Windows program is in the real or standard mode, the windowed choice is not available. This procedure can be done with almost all non-Windows applications. However, if you are using Lotus 123 version 2.01 or 2.2 with the Always Add-in program, run Lotus in the full screen mode. We should also note that Lotus 123 version 3.0 cannot be run in the 386 Enhanced mode due to memory management incompatibilities. Once completed with the WordPerfect PIF, select the File menu in the PIF window. Click on Save. Select the File menu once again and select Exit. Access the Windows menu. Select Non-Windows Applications. You should be seeing the icons for each of the programs set up earlier and through the installation process. We will be selecting the WordPerfect program by double-clicking on its icon. We are now in the WordPerfect program. Notice how this program has been placed in a window. Pressing the arrow up or maximize button in the upper right-hand corner will increase the size of the window to its largest size. You should note that non-Windows applications will only take up about 2/3 of the entire desktop space. This is normal. By pressing the WordPerfect function key F7 followed by N for no, do not save the document, and then Y for yes, exit WordPerfect. This brings us back to the non-Windows Applications window. If you installed any Windows applications, they will be in their own group window called Windows Applications. These are application programs specifically designed to run in the Windows environment and will use all of the Windows features, such as Print Manager. To exit from the Windows program, select File from the menu, then click on Exit, and then click on OK. This concludes our introduction to Windows presentation. In the Level 2 video, we will discuss the memory management capabilities of Windows in greater detail, as well as desktop management.